My son's imaginary friend wasn't imaginary. Children don't invent fear, they describe it. They give it names, they laugh with it, they trust it. And sometimes, if you pay enough attention, you begin to understand something deeply unsettling. They're not imagining anything at all. They're simply seeing what adults have learned to ignore. And sometimes, what they see is already there, just waiting for someone small, vulnerable, and innocent enough to notice it. When my son turned 4, we moved into a new apartment. It was supposed to be a fresh start for us, the kind of place where everything feels right the moment you step in. It had large windows, warm light filling every corner, and a silence that felt peaceful at first. But that silence didn't last long. I remember holding his hand as we walked through the rooms for the first time. He didn't smile. He didn't run around like children usually do in a new home. He just looked around, slowly, carefully, as if he was trying to understand something that I couldn't see. At the time, I thought it was just the stress of change. I'm a psychologist, after all. I've spent years studying how children react to new environments, how they cope, how they adapt. When he told me, a few days later, that he had made a new friend, I didn't feel fear. I felt relief. He said his name was Andy. The way he said it, though, wasn't playful or casual. It was calm, almost serious, like he was introducing someone important. At first, everything about it seemed normal, even expected. Children often create imaginary friends when they feel alone or when they're trying to process something new. Andy would visit him while he played, sit beside him during quiet moments, talk to him when he thought no one was listening. It fit perfectly within everything I had studied. There was nothing unusual about it, at least, not yet. Inside his bedroom, there was a small closet, empty and unused. I decided to transform it into a playroom for him, filling it with toys, soft lights, and pillows, creating a safe little world where his imagination could grow freely. That's when things began to change in ways I didn't fully understand. He started spending more time inside that closet. Hours, sometimes. The door always closed. At first, I thought he was just enjoying his new space. But then I began to notice the sounds. Quiet whispers, barely audible through the wood. Soft laughter that didn't quite sound like his. Moments of silence that stretched too long, heavy and uncomfortable. One afternoon, curiosity got the better of me, and I pressed my ear gently against the door. I could hear him talking, pausing, listening, and then responding, as if someone was answering him from the other side. I told myself it was nothing. Just his imagination becoming more vivid, more complex. But there was something in the rhythm of those conversations that didn't feel right, something that made the air around me feel colder than it should have been. Andy quickly became part of our routine. At dinner, my son would always ask if Andy could join us, and I would play along without hesitation. I placed an empty plate beside him, poured juice into an untouched glass, and even spoke to the empty space as if there was someone there listening. It felt harmless, supportive even, like I was helping him through a natural phase. I went as far as throwing Andy a birthday party. I bought a small cake, lit candles, wrapped a gift, and sang "Happy Birthday," while my son smiled brightly at the empty chair beside him. At the time, it felt like love. Like good parenting. Looking back now, it feels like something else entirely, like I wasn't just playing along, like I was acknowledging something, inviting it in. The first time I felt real fear was during a short trip. My son and I had to travel for a few days, leaving my husband alone in the apartment. On the second night, I called him, expecting a normal conversation, but there was something off in his voice. It was tense, hesitant, like he was choosing his words carefully. He told me that something strange had been happening. The toys in our son's room had been turning on by themselves during the night. At first I tried to rationalize it, suggesting faulty batteries or electrical issues, but then he said something that made my chest tighten. He said it only happened in that room. And then, after a long pause, he added that the closet door wouldn't stay closed. No matter how many times he shut it, he would always find it slightly open again, as if something inside was pushing it back. When we returned home, I felt it immediately. The apartment looked exactly the same. Nothing had changed visually, but the atmosphere was different. It felt heavier, like the air itself had thickened, pressing against my skin with an invisible weight. It was the kind of feeling you get when you walk into a room and suddenly stop talking because you sense you're not alone. That night has soon become impossible to ignore. The rocking chair in the living room began to move, slowly, gently, back and forth, over and over again, the wood creaking in a steady rhythm that echoed through the silence. That chair had belonged to the previous owner, a man who had died in the apartment from a heart attack. His family had told us he loved the place deeply, that he never wanted to leave. At the time, it sounded like a sentimental detail. Now, it felt like something unfinished. As the days passed, the feeling of being watched became constant. It wasn't just in one room or at one moment. It followed me everywhere, in the hallway, in the kitchen, even in the bathroom, where I could no longer shower without feeling like there was something standing just behind me, close enough to touch, waiting for me to turn around. My son began to change as well. He became quieter, more observant, as if he was listening to something I couldn't hear. Sometimes he would stop in the middle of a sentence and stare at a fixed point behind me, his expression shifting into something I couldn't recognize. One day, I asked him what Andy looked like. He didn't answer right away. He just pointed slowly toward the closet and whispered that Andy didn't like being talked about. That was the moment I realized this was no longer something I could explain. The night everything broke, I woke up without knowing why. There was no sound, no obvious disturbance, just a deep, suffocating feeling that something was terribly wrong. I got out of bed and walked toward my son's room, each step heavier than the last. The door was slightly open, and a faint light was coming from inside the closet. As I approached, I heard voices. Two of them. One was clearly my son's, soft and familiar. The other wasn't. It was lower, slower, with a tone that felt wrong in a way I can't fully describe, like it didn't belong in our world. I stood there, frozen, my heart pounding so hard it hurt, listening as my son spoke in a calm, almost reassuring voice. He said, "She's outside." There was a pause, and then the other voice responded. It said, "I know." In that moment, something inside me shattered completely. The closet door slammed shut, and the light went out instantly, leaving the room in total darkness. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. It felt like whatever was inside had become aware of me, like it had always known I was there, waiting for the exact moment I would finally understand. After that night, everything escalated beyond control. The whispers became more frequent, the shadows more defined, the presence more aggressive. It no longer felt like something hidden or distant. It felt close, too close, as if it was no longer confined to the closet, no longer limited to my son's imagination. It felt like it was part of the apartment itself, embedded in the walls, in the silence, in the darkness that lingered even when the lights were on. We tried everything to make it stop. Prayers, blessings, rituals, anything that could bring us some sense of safety. But nothing worked. Because deep down, I think I already knew the truth. We hadn't just witnessed something. We had participated in it. We had welcomed it, acknowledged it, given it attention, space, and even a name. And once something like that is recognized, it doesn't simply disappear. It stays. It grows. It waits. We left the apartment after 6 months. 6 months that felt like years, like an endless stretch of fear that never allowed us a moment of peace. The moment we stepped out of that place for the last time, everything stopped. The silence returned, but this time it felt empty, normal, safe. Andy disappeared completely. My son stopped talking about him, stopped remembering him, as if he had never existed at all. No questions, no confusion, no trace of the friend who had once been so present in his life. Today, he is an adult, married, living a normal life, untouched by everything that happened back then. And Andy is nothing more than a distant memory. At least, that's what I try to believe. Because sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the darkness feels just a little too deep, I wake up with that same suffocating feeling I had back then. And in the silence, barely audible, almost like it's coming from somewhere far away, I hear it again. A voice, soft, patient, familiar, whispering the same question it asked all those years ago, as if it never really left, as if it's been waiting this entire time. Can I come in now?